morning, everybody. Hang on. I'm using this mug today because it feels like spring outside. Anyway, it's February 28th here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. And of course, since it's Wednesday, that means there's a new bunch of free files available to us on Cricut. So what I'm going to do is every Wednesday, I'm going to, or right around then, I'm going to download or cut out a few of the free files so that I can see what in the heck they are. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I look at some of those and I'm like, what in the world is that supposed to be? So join me and I'll show you what I cut out and what in the world I think it is.
Okay, the first thing that I downloaded was this really super cute envelope, and I really like how it turned out. You can see it here on the screen. And if you look down here, you can see that I did it out of some pretty paper. And it's very easy to put together. There were score lines. Okay, so I'll just put my tape on these. And by the way, I did have to resize this a lot because I like to make everything to fit an A2 size card, and I'll briefly show you how to do that in just a sec. So this is this. So I just fold these in like that, and then fold this piece in over top of it. And of course, again, if there's any of that tape that sticks out, it just rubs right off, kind of like rubber cement did back in the day when I was in school. But what's cute about this envelope is this, the little top. There's these two little slits right here, so it just has like a self-closure. Just put it in here like this, and all of a sudden I'm having trouble. Okay, there we go. And it closes. Really cute, right? I think that's adorable. And of course, I guess this could be mailed, and my A2 cards fit in here really well. The envelope is a little bit long on the sides, but that's how I had to do it. Now, in order to fix it so that the envelope was the correct size, look back up here at the screen, and I had made this box, and I made the box sized as if it were a card that was an A2 card. And of course they are 5.5 by 4.25 inches. So then all I had to do was take this and put it over. Let's bring that to the front. Move to the front. And if this was my card, I had to make sure it fit within the score lines of this envelope. When I first brought the envelope in, however, it was, pretty small, about like that. So I lined these up, the score lines. Then I just clicked on the envelope and started dragging it. And see how I keep dragging it so that it's long enough. So there, it fits in there. Now it doesn't quite fit down here at the bottom yet. So I have to make it a little bit larger. Okay, let's see. Nope, still a little bigger. So anyway, you get the idea. You just kind of mess with it until this card representation fits within the dashed lines of the envelope. I can make it a little bit smaller, but not much. Then all I have to do, see, this fits now. It's a little bit wide, as I said, on each side, but it fits. So I can just hide over here on the right the square or the rectangle, and then I can print it. Okay, the other two things that I tried to make were really weird. So this one turned out okay, and I can show you that here if you look down. Hopefully you can see that. This next one here, what a blobby mess this was. Apparently I should have resized it and not left it at the size that it is. Notice you can tell that it's only about, if I bring it up here, about 1.5 inches wide by about 1 inch tall. Well, it didn't cut out at all. It's a mess. I mean, I'm sure I must have had to have resized it because it's just, these little flowers are just a big blob. So if I had resized this, I bet it would have come out a lot cuter. And next time I'll do that. And then this thing right here, it was called a slider. I don't get it. I guess I should have resized that too because it comes out really tiny like this. But quite honestly, I don't get it. I don't know the point of this. So maybe somebody else can help me with that. Okay, y'all, in defense of Cricut, I want to say something about these two images that I said were such losers. If I highlight this one and I look over here on the right-hand side, it says it's a frame. So when it came in this small, I thought it was just going to be like a little label, but since it says frame, I'm sure I must have been supposed to make it quite a bit larger, and then it would have cut really well. So let me hide that one. And this one that I made tiny and I said it worked out okay, if I look over here after highlighting it, it says it's a bookmark. Well, generally bookmarks aren't only 1, 2, 3 inches tall, so maybe if I had made that larger, it too would have turned out nicely. And I also could have written some sentiments on here as well. So that's those two. Now on to this thing. Okay, this says it's a card. I don't quite understand why there's these two pieces. This one is scored and this one is scored. I like the little jaggedy edge. And I just ungrouped it, so I noticed that there are two pieces. This one must go behind so it peeks out this little window, but I still didn't get it. So I did a Google search for Cricut cartridge. What did I do? Cricut cartridge directions maybe? And I came to this page right here, and it has actually all the cartridges labeled. And I happen to know that that one came from one called Wild Card. So I opened up the handbook. And when I opened the handbook up, it looked first like this, Wild Card. And then I kept scrolling around until I got to the one that I was making. There's probably an easier way to figure that out. But eventually I came to this one. This is it. But honestly, these directions aren't helping me at all yet. Maybe once I cut it out, I'll understand something. It says something about a liner, blackout. You see, if we've never had a Cricut before when they did the cartridge thing, and this is all new to us, this is really confusing. And if they want us to use the free things and get excited about them, we got to understand what the heck they are. So I'll be back once I've cut mine out. Okay, once again, before I cut this out, I've brought forward my little black box that is the size of an A2 card, 5.5 by 4.25. And now I've put the card on top of that. It's still grouped together, so it's going to resize both pieces at once. And I'm assuming that this half of the card is, half of a card, which is this. So I'm going to grab onto this and just drag it out until it's, let's see. I think I'm going to rotate this, hold down my control key so it rotates properly. And that looks about right. Looks like this one could be a little bit shorter. Let's see. So what I'm going to do now is just right-click on the black box and move it to the front so I can kind of see how this works. So I don't want to resize the box. If I resize anything, it's going to be this card. But I don't think I want to resize it. Dang. I do want it to make sure that it's going to fit in an A2 card or envelope if I make a bunch of them. So just about. Okay, let's see. If I bring this to send that to the back. Okay, this card looks like it's a tiny bit smaller than the A2 card, so that's fine. It'll fit into the envelope. So once again, I'm ready to take this black box over here and just hide it. And I'm ready to make it. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm not feeling any better than I did to start with. I cut these out, and I cut them out just out of plain cardstock just so I could try them. I used the colors that they used, and I just do not understand. So if anybody can help me understand what in the world this is supposed to be, is that supposed to be a decorative card? Like that? Or I just don't understand. Or does this go here? I just don't understand. So Cricut needs to really help us if they want us to use a lot of these things to understand how. So if there's somebody out there that's been around and when you used cartridges and when these things first came out, if you could help explain to me what this is all about, I'd sure appreciate it. Anyway, if there's something free this week, now remember it's February 28th, 2018, that you'd also like me to try, because I'd be willing to try it because I have some extra cardstock on hand, and if you don't want to give it a whirl with your cardstock, I'll try it for you. Leave me a comment below. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining me, you guys. See you again soon. Bye-bye.